Okay guys, look at this. That's the key to the new Mazda 3. Looks familiar, right? Yep, it looks exactly the same as the Volvo's keys. And another thing, if I walk away from the car, see, the car automatically locks. So Mazda has always had the walk away lock, just that they never scream about it. So they've had it even earlier than the current Civic. This is the Mazda 3 2-liter sedan mid-spec model, so it's not the high plus, it's just the high spec model. And yep, you notice the small rims immediately. You will notice the slightly different bumpers, and the whole car has a very different demeanor compared to the hatch. It looks as though both are different cars until you park both next to each other. You notice a similar front. Alright, new generation Mazda 3. I've covered this car when they launched it. I've driven the car at Sepang, which shows it has a fantastic handling. And now driving on the road, my first impression is that the suspension, we all know that it's Torsion Beam, right? So yes, if you talk about uneven roads, you get to feel the road more than if you were in a Honda Civic. Honda Civic will give you a more supple ride, or if you compare to a Golf, the Golf will also be slightly more supple. But the good thing about this is that it lets you feel the road in a sporty manner. So you're feeling more body motion, you're feeling more of the road, but sometimes when you go into an undulation, a dip, the car is able to absorb the shock towards the end of it, right? So that's how the suspension behaves. If you ask me, is it a very quiet, soothing, supremely comfortable family car? No. The setup is sporty. It's very clearly is sporty. So the touch sensitive is only on the front to open the doors. That's my sitting position, and you look at the back, it's by no means comparable to the Honda Civic when it comes to interior room. That has always been a Mazda characteristic, and the surprising thing is that they say this round they're using Torsion Beam to improve interior room, but as evident here, that's unlikely the case, because a Jetta, right, a Jetta with similar wheelbase already provides more room, and somehow I just find Mazda is still not as good as their peers when it comes to packaging their cars. Alright, so at the back here it is snug, let's put it this way. Okay, it is snug. You can sit here comfortably, but if you ask me, is there a lot of room for your feet to move around? Like when in the Civic, I can even put my right leg here, you know, I can sit like a boss. Not here, but the sitting position is not as low as the Honda Civic, so I think older people will feel it's okay, it's better. And I think the seats, the leather and all that is plusher. It feels one grade higher than what its peers are offering, you know. This feels and touch, and you look at the stitching and all that, right? It feels closer to Lexus than to a Honda Civic. Alright, so that's the sitting behind. Aircon vents here. I'll explain about the aircon vents later on. Okay, one thing I really like at the back here is this door handle. Don't look at it, this looks simple, but on a long distance journey you need a door handle that is shaped like that for you to put your palms in, and it makes you feel very comfortable. And it's all very plush. The material is all plush, it's all soft touch everywhere, right? And then this one has been with Mazda for a while now. Nice design, and you can put big bottles here. Okay, let's look at the boot. I like the fact that they integrate into this 3D logo, and then they put the button there. Alright, and this one is just one surface, very clean. As a sedan, of course, the boot is huge. Is it first in class? Nope, but it's huge enough to to load all kinds of stuff in there. You can pull this lever to drop the seats. That's about it. If you look at the front of the car, it looks like a luxury car. But you come back to here, that's when it shows its roots. Okay, this is no different from any Corolla or Civic in terms of finishing, the level of finishing. Albeit they put a nice cover here. Some car makers, they don't even bother about the cover. You will see the exposed metal. Some car makers, they only cover one side, you know. At least what Mazda did is the whole swan neck is covered in this nice smooth plastics. Alright, that's the design of the rear. One thing I want to say, after I've seen the hatchback, looking at this sedan now, it just doesn't look as attractive as the hatchback. But nevertheless, if you compare this to an Alpha 159, it looks very, very similar to an Alpha 159, right? So, I mean, apart from the details, the smaller rims, the really high-profile tires, Blue Earth Yokohama's, not bad though. As an eco tire, this is one of the good ones. And this is where the party is, alright? It's no lock. Okay, let me do that again. I need to let you see this. Wait, how do I lock the car? Okay, let me lock the car first by walking away. So the car is now locked. So I walk near it, open the door. Look at that. That is something, huh? I noticed this first. I'm not sure what's the... I think this can be easily changed, huh? Yeah. White and black. Nope, 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 nope. Interior quality is excellent for the segment of this car. Even the buttons here, the tactile feel of the buttons is totally different from cars of its class. Okay, all this feels very different. It feels like a European car. In fact, so much so that the whole steering wheel also feels like a European car, that I start using the indicators on the left side instead of the right. It has become something that I got used to. Okay, come inside here. Now, you notice there are no aircon vents here, right? There are two aircon vents for the passenger, two for the driver. I really appreciate the aircon vents blowing this way. I love feeling the air from my palms. I don't know why, but I just like it. And it gives a more driver-focused cockpit, right? The two vents flanking the dials, and you can see this is digital panel, this is analog. Now I start the car. Now, one thing you will notice, once the center panel light up, I think they put a considerable effort in matching the lights from this digital panel and the analog one. Even the little bars behind, that little light grey color, it matches, right? So the first day when I got it, when I started the car, I didn't notice that until I press the mode button, the info button. I press this, then only I realized the center dial is an LCD. Fantastic. In fact, the whole panel is an LCD. I think they hide it really well. And readability is excellent. The legibility is very, very nice. Everything is so easy to read. And I like the fact that they keep the whole thing rather monochrome. You can see the little car here, you can see the tail lamps is actually in red color, so it's a color screen. Even here, there are some colors there. But why they keep it that way? Because when you drive at night, let's say a new Mercedes-Benz, okay, for those of you who have sat in the new Mercedes-Benz, the A-Class and all that, the large screen, right, it's attractive. It's nice when they are doing an advertisement. It's nice when you hop into the car, everything is so flashy, so bright and all that, right? But when you're driving at night, it's actually very tiring for your eyes, you know. And Mazda, we know that Mazda would put a lot of effort in all these little small things, and they did that. So the whole thing looks rather dim at night, but it's comfortable to look at. And then come here, you will notice that this is my sitting position. I'm seated here. The screen is completely out of my reach, right? There's a reason for that, okay? Mazdas don't agree with touchscreen, and which I would say yes, it's better to use the dial, you know, to just toggle through the menus. And I think this round they updated the software. It looks really nice now. You know, the whole the graphics is simple, easy to use, and then it's nice, it's decent to look at. They even shape it in a way whereby it houses nicely in this recess over here. Now, let's explain. Why are there no central aircon vents? Now, cars back in those days, or every other car, the center aircon vents is supposed to divert air to the rear because there's an opening between the seats. But now that what Mazda is thinking is this: since we have rear aircon vents, right, and this car has decent headroom, so the air can comfortably travel to the back. Then they look back at this: how can they benefit by removing the aircon vents from the middle in terms of a stylistic manner? They can have a very low cowl. See, this screen is standalone on top, but it doesn't obstruct too much space here in terms of visibility, and it sits in. And because as a driver, I look down like that, I can see the information down here, and they can keep this portion from here to here very slim. Okay, so here you have a slim aircon control panel, and the interface faces upwards, so I'm pressing the buttons like this, and it's very easy because here you adjust the temperatures, plus and minus on the aircon fan speed. Here there's no legend here on this button. See, this button has no legend, but from the screen I can tell it's to toggle between these two, and then this one to toggle between how the air is blown out. Very simple, dead simple. There's one USB port here, and I think that's a nice position because easy for me to plug in and out, but I would appreciate if there are two. Okay, then down here you have a nice compartment, rubberized material here. You can just chuck your things like that, and this panel is slanted, so your stuffs are put like that, easy for you to put them in and out. Okay, and the fact that they block up this area here and here, it creates a nice compartment for you to just chuck a lot of things in there. Now this whole part is extended to the armrest, same material, so it feels like an extension of your armrest. Sometimes when you drive long distance, you put your arm like that, it feels comfortable. Okay, now after they free up this space, they are able to give you a very large compartment here, and here is your cup holders. And when you open this, look at that, look at the mechanism, it sits nicely. There's a little panel here that allows it to sit nicely, seal off this area so that your touch and go card or your shillings won't go in. Very, very thoughtful. And here you can put more things if you're not putting your cups. If you're putting your cups, fine, right? So it's nicely designed. This whole compartment is nicely designed, and this space is liberated because of how they choose to place the aircon vents. Okay, and of course they want some visual drama, so here they can put leather all across. If you spec your car in red leather, it will be red, not in Malaysia lah, huh? So let's look at the glove box. Nothing special, drops down slowly, but it's not covered in felt or whatever material, which would show it's a luxury car if they did so, right? Then this armrest, it slides at first, and then you open this way. I have explained this in my other video. The reason they did this is because, first of all, you want a big compartment here. A big compartment means a big armrest lid. So if you design a huge armrest, it will be very comfortable to put your arms on. See, if I put it in D, it's perfect, right? The grip is perfect. So it's huge. But when it's huge, if it is hinged here, when I open this thing, it will go up all the way here, right? Once it comes up all the way here, it's very distracting, and it's very hard to maneuver your arms when you're trying to take things. The whole thing will be dangling there, and it's very easy to break it if you push it accidentally, if this whole thing comes up like that. So what they did is this. They allow you to slide. You can take your stuff, you can drop stuffs in at first, and then further on, you press it again, you open like that. So it's a fantastic mechanism. I think it's very, very clever. Okay. locks, click locks here, click locks here. Yeah. And even if you have your phones with USBs and all that, 12-volt socket, this one you can move around to alternate the storage. Even if it's closed like that, there are a lot of space for the cables to run out, you know. So you can have a charger here, right? See, it flip downwards instead of upwards, and it's not spring loaded. If it's spring loaded, sometimes it's very annoying. It tries to close back every time you're trying to plug in, right? So it's like that. You can plug it in, and then your USB ports, and then your cables can run out. So very nice compartment. Over here, decent, very nice quality as well. This is very familiar with this. Many cars use it. This part I'm surprised. Most of the time, cars of this segment, right, when you press the whole headliner, right, the whole thing will move in, right? But this one feels very solid, just like a European premium car. The buttons, the feel of the plastics. Mazda really put a lot of effort in this. Just touch this plastic. It's the ones that people that BMWs or Audis they use in their cars, not the usual mass market cars materials. Okay. So overall, the fit and finish of this car is excellent. Okay, up front here, and if you just look at this whole interior, it just feels like an expensive car. The part that feels the most expensive is the steering wheel. You know, very nicely sized for the car, for the size of this car. Not too small, not too big, and the rim, the girth of the steering is nice. It's not too thick, you know, and it's nice to hold. And the leather, the buttons that they use, very high quality, all of it.
Say a command.
Just come into the car and feel everything yourself. It's nice. Now the price is not cheap as well, right? This is like 140 over 1,000 ringgit.
I didn't understand your request. Say help for additional assistance.
Cancel. Yep. So, yep, that's the interior walk around of this car. Not the most spacious in class. Certainly the most expensive in class, but also the highest quality interior. It feels the most special when you're sitting in here. Even driver's side, where they put this, just nice for my arm. One thing I don't like about my Volvo is that there's the little hole here is over here, so I can't really put my hand there, and I put my hand like that and then I drop my hand all the time, so I like it. As the driver's side, you have the control panels here, you put your arms here. For passenger side, you have the proper armrest, the grab handle for you to slot your palms in. Lovely. Oh, last thing, frameless rear view mirrors. Nice touch. The whole thing has a very nice ambience to it. Okay. Yep. What else I miss out? Hope nothing much. Cheers. Okay, certain things I noticed. The funny thing is, this knob, the side here, the knurl pattern feels very upmarket, very nice. This one as well. However, the top, it feels as though something has dropped off, you know, as if something should have been there, but they were not, you know. And I think the material of this start-stop button, they could have used some metallic touches so that it looks more premium, nicer. So yeah, small complaints over here. Alright, let's drive.